Hey YouTube, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. I don't know, I just be doing stuff for real. But hey y'all, how y'all doing today? So we are going to get right into shootout part 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, chicken in the hole. Okay, alright, okay, alright. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so y'all, I had a lot to say. We got a lot to get through in part 3, so we really gotta get right into it. Ooh. Okay, so it says previously, I forgot to mention that the reason Dion got removed from the home was because Tay Tay had started talking to a new dude, and he was going through her phone and seeing all the stuff that Ashante was saying about him to the new dude. She was telling all Dion business to the other dude, basically telling Brandon that Dion was living off of her and he needed to get his own money, and she was saying stuff like, I do everything for him and he can't do nothing on his own. Telling old dude he trying to stay in a relationship with me so he can have somewhere to stay. Sound like a nigga, I know. Telling the dude about how Dion owed child support and he running from potential warrant because he don't want to pay. Mind you, Tay Tay admitted all this to me, and this was the reason why her and Dion had started back arguing after I came back from Vegas. So yeah, she had broke up with him. Yes, she told him she wanted him to leave. Yes, his family was doing stuff to try to bribe Tay Tay to get Dion to stay a little longer or get them to work it out. But really, Tay Tay had decided that she wanted to, deal with other dudes. And she wanted Dion to leave because he started going through her phone. And basically, he started arguing with her about what he seen in her phone, about what she was telling other dudes about him. And that made him angry. And yes, he did leave. I told y'all she called APD and Grady crisis team to have him physically removed from the home because he had mental health issues and all this other stuff that she told them. But yeah, so that's basically what happened after I came back from Vegas. So this was like April, like the end of April by this time, like end of April. I want to say, yeah, end of April, somewhere in April. So yes, fast forward to Ashante having Dion removed from the home, and she did the dude with the dude, Brandon. He did a hit it and quit it on her because Dion was threatening him. So the part that I forgot to mention was Dion had started the process of threatening. I think I forgot that part, but if I didn't forget that part, then we just doing refreshing all our memories. But yes, Dion started threatening Brandon because he had got the boy number out of Tay Tay phone, going through her phone messages while she was asleep or not paying attention. And he was threatening the dude that he was going to shoot him. And Tay Tay said while her and the boy was being intimate, he kept like jumping and flinching every time he heard a noise. And she was saying like she feel like that's when he ejaculated into her, because after he kept flinching, he jumped, and then he was like, oh, I think I hear something, and he pulled up his pants real quick and he like left, like got up out of there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So yes, so after that happened, the dude basically like respectfully told Tay Tay, I cannot deal with you. You got baby daddy issues that's affecting me and my anxiety. So he did a hit it and quit it, wham bam, thank you ma'am, went on by the business. So the situation became obviously messy because it was obvious Tay Tay was confused. She's saying one thing and doing another. Yeah, she's saying she don't want to be with her baby daddy, yet she's still scheduling intimacy dates with him. And she say she gonna focus on working and her children, yet she can't seem to get up for work or get her kids ready for school because she entertaining men at wee hours of the morning. And so the same thing Tay Tay did with Brandon, she did with Jaheim. Oh, and I forgot the last part. she say she done with dudes, and then she in love with a new dude not even 7 days later, which is Jaheim. So I did skip a part. So the same thing Tay Tay did with Brandon, she did with Jaheim, which is telling all Dion business and belittling him as a man. So my own little personal situation with D'Anthony and what he was staying at with his grandmother and his auntie, that became very messy very quickly when his father came back to Atlanta and went to his mom's house. And so yeah, like I told y'all in the last video, I went and sent my son to go live with his grandma because one of my sisters was threatening to shoot up the apartment because I was living with Tay Tay, and I didn't want my son to be caught up in the middle of that, so I had him removed from the home. Now that was in February, and now we are back in April. We fast forward to April, and now his daddy, who has been MIA for 10 months on his own personal journey with life and God, he had been MIA for 10 months, and so, you know, I was not expecting him to return. Now, his sister, yeah, she did. But let me go ahead and drink some tea now because, honey, the tea is real. My cup got a stain on it, but this my cup. Now, like I was saying, so yes, I was not expecting my baby daddy to come back from wherever he was in the Netherlands, but his sister did. Now, I ain't gonna get too much into my own personal baby daddy drama and the discussion of Tay Tay and her baby daddy drama. However, because these two situations intertwined, and that's how my son ended up witnessing a shootout for his 3rd birthday, I have to mention this. Now, so my son was living with his grandma under his auntie care. The auntie hates her brother, which is my baby daddy. My baby daddy returns home bearing gifts and is met with uninvited, nasty energy turned into family brawl. And my son had to come back to Tay Tay house for a couple of days. I had just started working at Get Fruity Cafe at this time, and I was very frustrated because it's like, being a single parent without no support system is hard. Being a single mom without no support system is hard. Yeah, you know, usually you say women can get food stamps and they can get what's that called, caps. But in my situation, that's not what was happening for me. Like, it really wasn't. And I did get food stamps at a certain point, but then they turned it off. And every time I tried to reapply, they would not approve me. And so even when my son came back to live with me in September of 2024, it was hard for me to do things on my own because his daddy was MIA, and my baby father's side of the family was not really like what's the word I'm looking for? Yes.
He's coming on the door.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, so because I'm in a situation where this is my like first or second job after getting custody of my son, because mind you, if I don't got nobody to watch the baby, then how am I gonna go to work? And that's really what the issue was with being a single parent and I wasn't getting government benefits. If I didn't have no family support and I'm not getting government support, then I'm in a situation where I'm between a rock and a hard place. So that is what my situation was with me being a single mom. And yeah, so when I went and sent my son to go live with my baby daddy mom and under the care of his aunt, it was so that I could be able to do what I needed to do and then get my son back. Because the agreement that I had made with my son's grandmother and auntie was that his grandmother was going to get custody of him. I was going to give her temporary custody of him, and we was going to sign a contract. And the sister was going to be the actual caretaker because she lived in the mother's home, but the mom was always busy at work because she was a nurse, or she is a nurse, so she didn't have the free time to really like take care of my son. So his aunt was going to do it because she already had like 4 other kids and she was pregnant and she was a stay-at-home mom anyways, and she living with the mom. So it's like, if your son gonna come over here, you got to be okay with her taking care of him. And it's like, because I'm in between the rock and the hard place with my own siblings and my own family, That was like my very last option. Like, I had done tried everything under the sun. Living in facilities for women with children, and going to shelters, and getting my own apartment. Like, I did everything that I could. And so at this point, putting my son in the care of his grandmother and his aunt, that was like my last option. And I thought it was gonna work because my baby daddy was nowhere to be found. So it's like, at this point, I gotta do what I gotta do. So yeah, the baby daddy returned home, and the sister is basically like upset. Like, that's literally it. Like, she just mad. She don't want to share resources with her brother because she feel like she more important than all the rest of her siblings. So she's willing to raise hell with any and everybody over their mama and the money that she got coming in, and making sure it's only going to her and her kids. And I can say this because I watched this from the time that I was introduced to my baby father's family up until the point where I end up losing my marbles and snapping on him and his mama. So yes, I can say that confidently. And that is the only reason why that situation did not work out, because she thinking she the mama and want to control everything and want to bulldoze people and attack people because she pregnant and she know nobody can put their hands on her. And that's literally was her tactic the entire time I was in a relationship with my baby daddy. She would always start shit with him when she was pregnant, and it was like he would walk away and she would just keep taunting him, and then the husband would be sitting right there, and instead of getting his wife and telling her respect him as a man, and he not trying to go there with you, instead he pandering for the wife and trying to gang up on my baby daddy. And it's like, this is weird. And this stuff been going on since I was pregnant with my son, and my son is now 3. So it's like, that's 3 years of just straight BS for no reason, just out of pure malice. And so when her and my baby daddy got into it physically, a physical altercation occurred in front of my son, and the police was called, and reports was made, and all these things. I literally had to go pick up my son. I remember I had to go pick him up, and yeah, it was crazy. So I had to bring my son back to Tay house. Now, mind you, Dion already done started throwing out he gonna shoot people threats in the air, and the first one was Brandon. So after Brandon left and ran off and got what he wanted and dipped out, Jaheim was next up, and now the same thing is going on with Jaheim and Dion. And Tay is letting me know, like, this is what's going on. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, you need to go file a police report against Dion for terroristic threats, because if he is going to your phone, taking niggas' phone numbers and texting them on his own behalf to scare them away from you, that's creating unnecessary drama for you and your household and your kids. So respectfully, to protect yourself and this dude and your children and your place of being, you need to go file a terrorist threats claim. You need to go get a report taken out on him for what's that stuff called, y'all, when you got to take the report out that they can't come back, a PTO, a temporary whatever the hell. Y'all know it's a lot of stuff you can do. I mean, mind you, even if the police don't do their job in terms of like protecting her physically, she have that right to protect herself physically if she have it all documented that this is what's been going on for the last couple of months. And that is what I kept telling Ashante. If anything happened in your household and it blow up in your face, your best bet is to already have everything lined up where you already got the police in the city of Atlanta on your side if it do get to the extreme where it do end up being a shootout. Because Tay, this is not something to play with. And I just kept telling her that, and she thought it was a joke. So yeah, now my personal issues is intertwining with Tay personal issues, and yeah, so now my son is back over there. He over there for like 2-3 days because I gotta investigate the situation that happened at his grandma's house. I talked to the mama, the grandma. I talked to both sisters, both aunties, and I talked to my baby daddy, and I heard everybody out, and basically everybody said the same thing, which is the sister started the altercation and basically they kept antagonizing him and using trigger words, and my baby daddy reacted because he was in an uncomfortable situation where people grabbing knives and circling around him like they finna hurt him. And so because he holding his son, now at this point he in a fight or flight mode, and he keep telling them, don't walk up on me, don't walk around me, like stay over there, like you making me feel uncomfortable, you keep entering my personal space. So apparently my baby daddy done put my son down, punched the dude in the face, and mind you, the mom is right there watching all this again. So yeah, after I was able to come to my own conclusion that, okay, the sister is the problem. She trying to use my son against her brother as a means to try to belittle him as a man because of what he was going through in his own personal journey as a man. And that's not right, because it's like, now you being a hypocrite, and it's like you just making yourself look bad, because it's the same girl who told me in the midst of my anger that I just need to pray for my baby daddy and, make sure he, pray that he get home safe and make it back to his son. And when I decided to do that, you decided to flip the script, and now you want to use his son against him. And you telling me you apologize for how you treated me, and you want to make it up by, helping me in my situation with my son and all this and that. And then now you're trying to use my son against my baby daddy. And my son ain't even been there for that long. You just got him like February the 18th, and it's only like April the 17th or something like that. Like, you only had him for 2 months. You ain't even had him for like, February, March, April. You ain't even had him for 90 days, and you already feeling like you a big shot and you can use him against his dad. Like, that's not right. So yes, I did tell my son auntie that she no longer could take care of him, and I was going to respectfully let his dad continue with that, because now he was back and he was trying to get himself together in terms of, stability wise, so he could be able to show up for his son the way he needed to. And might I just add, without my baby daddy even having a job and going through whatever he was going through, he was in a position where he didn't have enough to provide for a full household, but he was still able to get by with what he had with like stocks and stuff like that. So he wasn't just like out here just down bad, because even in the middle of whatever he was going through, he was still sending me money for his son. But my issue was he wasn't answering none of my phone calls, text messages, none of that. And that is what made me upset, because I cannot communicate with you what I need outside of you just sending me money. That's not all a child needs. And that's where we did not see eye to eye when he came back to Atlanta. But yeah, so after I took my son out of his auntie care and gave him to his father, that's when all hell broke loose. And basically the sister decided that she gonna open a defense case against her brother because she mad because she cannot use his son against him. And it literally started like a whole uproar in his mama house, where now the sister flipping out on the mama, and she like flipping out on everybody. Like, them pregnancy hormones ain't no joke, and then she already a bitch on top of that. So it's just everybody catching hell. And that's really what it was. And it was like, it was crazy. But yes, I was very upset about all of this happening, because I did not want my son at my sister's house, and I didn't want my baby daddy and his sister beefing over my child, and my child having to be in the middle of that. And I really felt like, dang, like I had set up this whole thing where they was taking care of him. I had got accepted into college. I had already paid my deposit for my dorm room, and I had paid my deposit for my tuition, and paid a deposit towards my meal plan. So I'm like, I'm already set in stone. Everything already solidified for me. And I'm like, I literally created my YouTube channel around like healing my inner child and pursuing my educational dreams, because that really is something that is important to me. I really enjoy knowledge. I am I want to say a sapiosexual, like knowledge turns me on, yeah, but I also like thirst for knowledge on a very deep level. So it's very hard for me to know that knowledge is power and not be able to acquire the knowledge that I desire. And so that is why this whole school thing was very hard for me to let go over the years, and that is why I could not let go of trying to get in school and create the college experience for myself. What the hell? I don't know what's wrong with the light, but okay. But anyways, where was we at? Yeah, my sister, so I took the son from his sister, gave him to his dad. Now the sister is mad and proceeds to make false claims of child neglect and abuse, leading to a defects case being opened on my baby daddy. And this was like the ending of May, beginning of June, when it started circulating that she was saying she was gonna open a defects case against him. And so I ended up getting my taxes, and since Tay was going through a situation where she was behind on her bills and was selling her food stamps to keep her lights on, so the rent office wouldn't file an eviction against her. So basically the rules in her apartment for a based on income apartment was, even if you can't pay the rent, you got to be able to keep your utility bills on, because that is a part of your that is included in your rent. I mean, that is included in your rent or in your stay or whatever. So I don't know, but basically she told me that she had to keep her lights on, because if her lights turned off, then they was gonna see that as an inclination that she could not keep up with her bills and she could not afford the apartment. And she basically was like, oh, I don't have to pay my rent. Like, I can get behind on my rent. I just can't get behind on my light bill. Mind you, her light bill almost the amount of her rent, and that's about $300. So yeah, I'm sitting here like, what the hell? And you know, if she's selling her food stamps to pay her light bill, now she in a situation where she don't got no food in the house. And then you get the money for the light bill, and you not even using it on the light bill. You using it on ordering DoorDash and GoPuff in the middle of the night, and using it on Uber and Lyft rides to get back and forth to work because you too lazy to get up on time in the morning to catch the bus back and forth to work, because your job is on the bus route, but because you struggling to get up in the morning every day because you ain't going to bed to like 5-6 o'clock in the morning because you got Jaheem coming over 1 or 2 o'clock in the middle of the night every night, and you staying up all night entertaining him, and then by the time he leave 6 o'clock in the morning, by the time 7 o'clock coming around, you just getting deep into your sleep, and I gotta wake you up like, hey, the kids going to school today? Oh, I forgot. Like, it got to the point where the daycare teacher started texting me and calling me for the kids and know if they going to school or not, because Tay was inconsistent, unreliable, and unfortunately that is the truth. And it's like, you know, I already know, okay, I'm finna go to college, so all I gotta do is put a certain amount down or whatever. So I'm looking at it like, my nieces and my nephews, like, it just started bothering me really bad that Tay was not doing her job as a mom. And I felt like my son still had it good, because he was in a situation where he was still being taken care of and provided for and nourished in different type of ways. And that's where I fucked up at, basically putting my sister and her kids' needs above me and my child needs. And that is what happens when you have been conditioned to take care of others before self. And that was the ugly truth that I had to sit down and come to terms with after I fumbled my tax money, spending it on Tay and her kids and trying to make sure they straight. And after I'm arguing with my baby daddy and he mad because I spent my tax money on my sister and other stuff and not giving him no tax money. And it was like, I had to really sit with myself and say, dang, I had the resources to get me and my child out of this situation, but I chose to help somebody else, and that's how I ended up in a homeless situation. Because if I would have took my tax money and went and found me and my son somewhere to stay and decided to just go to school online, me and my son would have never ended up in the middle of a shootout. And then now we living in a hotel room because we can't go to his grandma's house because the auntie over there, and she terrorizing the grandma, and grandma trying to take safety precautions for herself to get the auntie removed, and defects case open. I'm talking about, it was a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like, now I could be able to say, this is what I need to put in this video and let it be known that self-preservation is key, y'all. And that's literally what drove me crazy. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I thought that doing for others made me a good person. But in the end, I ended up with nothing left to help myself with. And that was what was driving me crazy. Doing stuff for people and they can't show up for me when I need help, and then trying to convince me that I never did nothing for them in the first place. And that's literally has been my life cycle since I graduated high school and lived with my mom and dropped out of college. Like, that's literally been my life cycle. Every time I get blessed, I bless others, because I was taught in church, blessed to be a blessing. So before I even can really think about what I need for myself, I got people already in my face bringing their problems to me, because they know I got a blessing and I got a good heart. And if they can make me feel for them, then I will go out of my way to help them. And that was something that took me a long time to realize, that a lot of the people around me are playing off of my good heart. And that's real spill. And I'm going to get more into details on how everybody around me used my weakness, which is people pleasing and putting others before self, against me to benefit their own needs. And then the moment I started catching on and realizing that I need to do for myself and separate myself, that's when everybody want to keep trying to come around and attach themselves to me and try to connect to me and rebuild something with me. And it's like, wow. Now, making this video right now, I could be able to say, a lot of people will never give you the validation that you're looking for. They will never give it to you until you stop looking for it from them. That is when they give it to you. And the trick is to not even react to the validation, because you never needed it in the first place. And that's something that I had to realize after being in a life or death situation. I should not keep putting myself in situations where I am putting my needs on the back burner to try to show up as a big sister for individuals who do not even value the role that I play in their life. They will never appreciate me. They do not show gratitude. And their whole goal is to convince me that I'm not doing enough so that I can keep doing stuff for them. And that was very disheartening to come to that realization that my sisters do not even like me. They just using me because I'm more reliable than our own parents. And that's real spill. And when I had to sit with myself and say, move, fly. When I had to sit with myself and reflect throughout my childhood, like, Shanteria, you've been the third parent since you was 6 years old. Really before then. But when you got adopted and you had to go live with somebody else, you was put in a position where you was literally trained and groomed for a parenting role. And that went on from the age of 6 till you was 19 years old. So your whole life, you was placed in a position as the caretaker for everybody else, and were always ridiculed and shamed and manipulated and gaslighted into thinking that you was doing something wrong when you took the time for self. And that is what really set me off when I had to sit in the ashes of the fucking explosion that Tay and Dion and Jaheim had set off. And that is what, like, really, that was really something that I just had to sit with, and it was very uncomfortable, and that is what made me manic and stuff. But that is me moving forward and how I processed everything that happened. But yeah, so I ended up getting my taxes, and because of Tay-Tay's situation with selling her food stamps to keep her lights on, the rent office wouldn't issue her an eviction. And, you know, like I said, this is why I messed up, putting somebody else's needs above my own. I didn't think to take my son from his dad and family and just get an apartment, because I was hell-bent on living on a college campus and had already paid my security deposit for the dorm room and everything, and was scheduled to move in July 2025. I had a one-track mind at the time, I admit. So what happened next happened quick. The entire month of June leading up to the shootout, my son's birthday, Jaheim and Dion was arguing over Tay-Tay. This began because Dion decided once again to go through Tay-Tay's phone. Dion threatening the boy life, the boy entertaining Dion threats, and making fun of him, mad that his baby mama getting cracked. And now they exchanging threats back and forth. And Tay-Tay is bringing this to my attention. Like I told y'all, I told Tay-Tay she need to go file a report against Dion to protect herself and them kids. And Jaheim, because she kept trying to convince me that Jaheim was not this bad guy and whatever, okay. Tay-Tay at this point is choosing to support Jaheim over Dion out loud, but still intimate with Dion on the low, and I didn't know or didn't pay attention because at this point I got my own going on. I'm not pussy checking you, bitch. At the end of the day, I just chalked it up to she got bad yoni management, okay? Because ain't no what. But the week leading up to my son's birthday, the defects people was on my baby daddy ASS about where he was sleeping with our son, so he had to find somewhere else to go until his sister and her husband moved out of his mom's house to avoid any more conflict. At this point, my baby daddy and I are not we are not seeing eye to eye because I'm really irritated that he fucked up everything I had going on good between me, him, and his mama and his sister. But then I had to realize that everything is on his fault because his sister is an evil witch anyways. So this was bound to happen because she always getting something stirred up within their family. And it always is about the mama choosing her over the son. And when she can't get her way, she throw a temper tantrum. And yes, and I was mad at him and I was mad at everybody because I just was so over everybody and their issues be just overclouding what I wanted. I just wanted to go back to school. That was really it. And I wanted to be able to do something for my son, like have something to show for my son. That's really it. But anyways, yeah, so my baby daddy, we ain't seeing eye to eye. So I tell my baby daddy 2 days before D'Anthony birthday come over to Tay-Tay house. Now I had asked Tay-Tay, can my baby daddy come over for the weekend for D'Anthony birthday, because my son and my sister Tay-Tay, one of her daughters, her birthday is, my son and her daughter birthday is in the same week. D'Anthony birthday is June 22nd and my niece's birthday is June 26th. Yes, her birthday is June 26th, I think. Or the 28th. Her birthday is the 28th because they 6 days apart. Yes. My friend's son's birthday is July the 26th. Child. I don't know. I got so many friends and sisters who all kids' birthday in that same week. It's crazy. But anyways, Anna's birthday was the 28th. D'Anthony's birthday is the 22nd. And I'm like, we should just throw them a birthday party together, because in the midst of Tay-Tay proceeding to keep getting double stuffed, I am worried about my nieces and nephews because they are being neglected on a lot of different ways, and I'm trying to show up for them in the ways that their mother is choosing not to. And I was just like, you struggling to pay the bills and keep food in the house and keep up with just basic responsibilities. So I don't expect you to even do anything for my niece for her birthday, because you didn't even do nothing for Lonnie for her birthday. So at this point, I'm like, Niecey Pooh, I want to do something for you, because I wanted to throw my niece and my son a first birthday party together, and me and my sister end up getting into it over something petty, because really she was angry because she could not put any money towards the birthday party, and I was not finna throw a full birthday party at the park by myself. And I spent close to $1,000 on my son's first birthday party. So yeah, if you not spending no money and putting on in it, then no. At that time, I was not willing to share that experience and that celebration with you and your child, unfortunately, because that's just not what I was willing to do. But now that, you know, they about to be 3, I was willing to do it for the free, and I didn't care, because I just wanted my niece, I just wanted to see a smile on her face, and I just wanted to celebrate her life as well as my son's, and I just wanted to give them kids a reason to smile. So I wanted to take them to Chuck E. Cheese, but then I was like, it'd be cheaper to just get a little bouncy house and get a cake and make some little food and take it up to the little park, get a little pool, put some water in it, and let them just play up there all day while it's hot as hell outside, sing happy birthday, you know, make it fun for them. And make it fun for us, because I'm going to have me some on the side, because who finna sit in the heat and get beat up by mosquitoes and entertaining babies? I need something to calm my nerves. So that was the plan that I had for D'Anthony and Anna for their birthday, and I had told my baby daddy. And I had already celebrated D'Anthony's birthday separately by himself. I had took him to Golden Corral, and I had bought him his own personal swimming pool. I bought him bike, clothes, shoes, everything. I had did everything for my son. Now, mind you, yes, when I got my taxes, I made sure I did everything for my son. I bought him clothes, shoes, a leapfrog tablet. I bought him new books. I bought him a bike. I bought him a swimming pool. I took him a couple of places so he can be able to get out the house and not have to feel alone, because he went from playing with his cousins every day to now he only dealing with his dad, and he not even used to this nigga because this nigga been gone for almost a year. So it was like, I'm trying to like get my son and keep him in a happy place as a child. So I did spend my tax money on my child, yes, and I spent some bands on my child for facts. Like, I don't even play like that. But yeah, so I tell my baby daddy, since you gotta leave your mama house to avoid the defense people and the police, your sister keep calling the police on you, just come to my sister's house for this weekend, and after D'Anthony's birthday, we can just find somewhere to go together, me, you, and D'Anthony. And that was the plan, because at this point, you know, I can't stay here no more, you know, because Tay got all this stuff going on. And then it was irritating me that I'm doing stuff for her kids that she's choosing not to do because I'm here, and that make her think that she can just lollygag and frolic with these dusties, and that was irritating me too. So I was just really over it, and I had already got to a point where I'm like, okay, I still got a little something left, so I'm gonna just go ahead and save this, use this, and move with this. And that's how I had decided to allocate the rest of my tax money that I had left over, after doing everything for my son and paying my stuff for school, and you know, doing stuff for myself, buying me school clothes for school, because I'm going to school in the summer, so I gotta be fresh. I had decked myself out with a whole bunch of nice outfits, and you know, y'all, if y'all watch my other YouTube video, you can see some of the outfits that I bought for one of my Shein try-on hauls. A lot of those outfits I had bought for school and I wore on campus, and I'm gonna try to show y'all the little small experience that I did have on campus, because I did have a ball, even though I was only there for like 2.5, 3 weeks. I am going to put some little vlogs together so y'all can see how I was living on campus and how I, you know, regulated my life while on campus. But yes, told my baby daddy come over to my sister's house. I asked my sister, was it okay for my baby daddy to come over there and spend the weekend for D'Anthony's birthday, because I wanted him and Anna to celebrate their birthday together. And she said yes. So the shootout happened, I don't know, I think it happened on a Sunday. I think it happened like Sunday in the middle of the night. So my baby daddy and D'Anthony had came over there like Wednesday. No, they came over Thursday, because that Wednesday leading up to the shootout, Tay had this big old brown spider in the kids' room that she had found while they was asleep. And it was a big spider, and she felt like it was poisonous, and she was scared, and she wanted me to kill it. And I said, hell no, no. And I said, call one of them niggas over here to come kill that fucking spider, bitch. And that's exactly what I said. And she proceeds to call Jaheim. And this is when I just didn't like this nigga no more. She called Jaheim, and she like, hey, I got a problem. Like, it's a spider, and I'm so scared to kill it. And oh my god, like, it's in my kids' room, and they can't sleep in there because I don't think it's safe for them to sleep in there with a big old brown nose spider, brown recluse spider. That's what she said, brown recluse spider, and that is not safe. And can you please come and kill it for me? And this nigga told her, is you gonna pay me? And she like, pay you? Why do I need to pay you to kill a spider for me? And I'm like, bitch, because your pussy ain't enough to get him to do anything for you, and that's why you should have never gave it up. But so this is me listening to her have this conversation, because mind you, Tay sat in the living room all day because she did not want to go to the back and have to run into that spider. And I was not finna go to the back and go help her find that spider, because respectfully, go call one of the men's that's digging in you. So he say that. Tay get off the phone with him, and I'm like, at this point, I got something to say, cause ain't no MFing way. Drink my tea. See if it's still warm. Hey, you want to put my tea in the microwave? Okay. So, yes, I'ma like Ushan to the tag, okay? Let me tell you something, and let me tell you something real quick and real straight. This boy do not like you. He is using you as an ego boost, babies. If this man cannot do anything for you, let alone give you some money, he don't like you. You've been dealing with him for the whole month now, since the ending of May, and you got a real issue going on in your home, and he can't come and help you, but he can show up in the middle of the night to interrupt your sleep schedule. He can come over and stay over all night, though. He can come from the hours of 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., but he can't come at 7 p.m. in the evening, come kill a spider for you. And then he wants you to pay him like you not already paying him in ussy. So I'm just sitting here like, Tay, don't bring this over here no more. Don't bring this ninja over here no more, because now I'm gonna get upset. Because if your kids can't sleep in the room, then where they gonna go? They gonna be in your room, because they not sleeping in the living room with me. So this is what I'm telling her, like, my girl, you letting old dude play in your face. And ain't no way I'm finna sit right here as your big sister and let you think that it's okay. So let me give you free game. Don't let him come back to your house if he wanna FUCK. Tell that nigga he got to PAY. And I mean, he got to go pay for the room and give you some money up front. Because you got too much stuff going on in your life for a dude to feel like he can just dig in you for the free ski. I was told by our grandma, what ussy and empty pockets do not go together. You don't let nobody dig in your pocketbook, let alone if they ain't putting nothing in your pocketbook. Huh? Do you hear me? Can you, huh? And I'm telling my sister this, like, first of all, you got this nigga thinking he that nigga because he fucking on you, and your baby daddy flipping out about it. And it's making him feel good about himself. That's all he here for, is an ego boost, baby. If he want to keep doing the nasty with you, he need to go pay for a hotel room, and you need to be paying. You need to be asking him for some money. I said, Tay, the least you need to be asking for is about $500, because you got 5 kids. And the fact that you can't even get up on time in the morning to get them ready for school, let alone make it to work on time every day, you need to be compensated for your services. If you gonna be out here giving it up, you need to be getting something out of it, because it don't look like you getting no profit. And that don't make no sense to me. What they say, if it don't make no money, it don't make no sense. Yeah, that's where I was with it. So I'm like, girl, boo. And mind you, this was Wednesday. So fast forward to Thursday. D'Anthony.